So the POCO X6 came out in February, about 4 months ago, and this is a phone that retails for under 20,000 rupees in the Indian market for its base variant and comes with a Snapdragon 7S Gen 2 processor. And I have been using this phone as my daily driver for the last 3 months, and in this video, I want to share my experience with you guys. This is going to be more of a long-term detailed review of the POCO X6, and I also want to mention that I started using it with MIUI 14 and Android 13, but I eventually did get the HyperOS update. So I'm going to talk about my experience with that as well. So if you're considering to buy the POCO X6, do watch this video till the end. It's going to be everything you need to know about it. And with that being said, I want to start at the start with the unboxing experience. So you have a typical POCO box, and when you lift that lid up, you get a small compartment that has your documentation, your SIM ejector tool, and a free case. And I actually like the free case that POCO includes. They're pretty decent. You can actually use them for a while before you have to buy a new one from the market. Now you get the phone itself, and I have it in the Snowstorm white color, and this is the base variant. So 8 GB of RAM and 256 GB of storage, but you can upgrade the storage by spending a little bit more. And yeah, I really like this Snowstorm white color. It has that marbleized effect, and we'll get to that in a bit when we talk about the design. But in terms of accessories, you get a 67-watt fast charger and a USB Type-C to Type-A cable for charging and data syncing. And that's pretty much it for the unboxing experience. Now talking about the design of the POCO X6, you've got the typical signature POCO design with the dual tone look. So you have the glossy camera strip on the top with the camera module, and at the bottom, especially in the Snowstorm white color, you have this marbleized finish, which I absolutely love. You get a bunch of different patterns and gradients when light hits it in different directions. It's a lot of fun if you're using the phone without the case. And talking about the build of the phone, it's completely made out of plastic, but it's got flat front and back, and it's got these boxy sides and rounded corners, which makes the phone really grippy and really comfortable to hold in the hand. Since it's got, flat sides, it does not really slip in your hand. So when you're using the phone in everyday, day-to-day life, it feels really comfortable and grippy. I love the design of the phone, and it's not really heavy either. It's only 181 grams. It's well balanced. So overall, the design and build quality of the POCO X6 is really sturdy. The phone also has an IP54 rating, which means it can be used outside while it's drizzling or take a little bit of a splash, but do not dare to go swimming with this one. One thing I love about the POCO X6, it still has the headphone jack and also has an IR blaster. I love the headphone jack, but I love the IR blaster even more. You can control, the LED lights behind your desk. You can control your air conditioner, TV, a bunch of appliances. It's a really handy feature to have, and a bunch of expensive phones tend to skip on this one, and I really appreciate POCO for including these in their budget devices. Now the strongest aspect, in my opinion, of the POCO X6 is its display. You get a 6.67-inch AMOLED display with super thin bezels, and these bezels are actually very thin, even comparing it to some of the expensive phones on the market, which gives it a really premium look on the front. And you get a 1.5K resolution with a 12-bit panel, and this is 120 Hz. It also supports Dolby Vision and HDR10+. You still cannot play YouTube videos in HDR, but everything else about this display is top-notch. Coupled with the dual stereo speakers, which are actually very good quality, the media watching and entertainment experience on this phone is really good. When you're watching movies on Netflix, you get really good sound and you get natural colors. The display gets plenty bright, plenty sharp, and very vibrant. Even using it outdoors isn't a problem, and overall, I love the display. It's smooth, so when you're scrolling through social media or just Android in general, it's really fun. And you do get Gorilla Glass Victus protection on the front with the in-display fingerprint scanner, which is fast enough for day-to-day use. And yeah, overall, the display is a big thumbs up from my side on the POCO X6. Now talking about performance and hardware on the POCO X6, you get the Snapdragon 7S Gen 2 processor with 8 GB of LPDDR4X RAM. You can get it with 256 or 512 gigabytes of UFS 2.2 storage, and you have a 5100 mAh battery here. Now performance on the POCO X6 is actually pretty good. If you're just using it for light day-to-day tasks like email, browsing, watching YouTube videos, scrolling through social media, you're gonna have no issues. Multitasking is great, RAM management is fine on the phone. I had no issues with just normal day-to-day use. Sometimes you do come across a little bit of a lag, a little bit of a jitter here and there, but that's just MIUI and Android in general. The phone overall is very smooth. What the POCO X6 isn't is, it's not a gaming phone. I'm not a phone gamer myself, so I don't really know, but I've seen some reviews online, And yeah, it's not really a hardcore gaming phone. You can play games for fun, but if you're a competitive, serious esports player, I don't think the POCO X6 is for those people. Now, talking about software on the POCO X6, I got it originally with Android 13 and MIUI 14 out the box, but eventually I did get the HyperOS Android 14 update. And POCO is promising 3 OS updates and 4 years of security patches, so that's pretty good. And you should be able to get Android 16 on this, no problem. And yeah, like there was not a huge difference between the HyperOS and MIUI transition. There's a bunch of new lock screen customization features you get with HyperOS. The icons are a little different, the notification shade is a little different, but overall everything else stays the same. You do have certain, app recommendations, a little bit of suggestions here or there. They're not really ads, but they're kind of ads. You get a bunch of bloatware pre-installed, which you can get rid of very easily. But overall, the software is fine. I'm not really a huge fan of the MIUI experience. I love stock Android, but I know a lot of people use MIUI and they really like the features that MIUI has. So that's that. You do get all of those features and a little bit of extra with HyperOS. It's fast, it's smooth. Again, as I said, there are some small lags and jitters here and there. Some transitions, animations can lag sometimes. So overall, if you like MIUI, software is going to be fine for you. Now, talking about the cameras on the POCO X6, you have a triple camera setup on the back with a 64 megapixel main OmniVision sensor with OIS, 8 megapixel ultra wide and 2 megapixel macro, and you also have a 16 megapixel front selfie camera. Now, the POCO X6 in my opinion is not really a camera centric, camera focused phone, but just like the display, you get really natural colors and skin tones with the photos and videos that you take on this phone. So dynamic range is pretty good. The photos are bright and sharp. In good daylight conditions, you're gonna get really nice photos. But when you get into low light situations, the phone does struggle. You can use Gcam and other things to improve the results, but out of the box, just in auto mode, things are decent. Again, you're not shooting Avatar 3 on this phone anytime soon. So that's the camera on the POCO X6. Again, just fine, nothing to really rave about here. But something that I can rave about is the battery life on this phone. You have a 5100 milliamp hour battery with 67 watt fast charging, and you get 7+ hours of screen on time easily on this phone. Even if you're a heavy user using the phone, constantly watching videos, movies, using the camera, playing games, whatever, you're still gonna get 6 to 7 hours of screen on time every day without an issue. If you're a light user, you should be able to get 1.5 or even 2 days sometimes without charging the phone. But when you do actually charge the phone, it's pretty quick. 67 watts, the brake is included in the box, and it goes from 0 to 100 in about an hour or 1 hour 10 minutes, which is pretty fast for a phone that cost 18,999 rupees. And you're not really missing out on anything. You get mostly all the 5G bands for India, you get dual band AC Wi-Fi, Bluetooth 5.2, and as I said earlier, you get the aux jack and the IR blaster as well. And overall, to give you my final thoughts, the POCO X6 is a really balanced phone. Under 20,000 rupees, POCO is trying to give you everything and trying to tick all the boxes. If you were to ask me some good parts about the phone, I would say the display, the design, the performance and the battery life. Things that need improvement and aren't really the best is the software on the phone and the camera. But other than that, the POCO X6 is a really strong phone under 20,000 rupees. For 18,999, I really like this phone. So that's my review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and help me reach 30,000 subscribers really soon. Let me know in the comments down below, what do you think about the POCO X6? What phone are you using right now? Which one do you want to upgrade to? I'll be there replying to you guys. But with that being said, my name has been Yusuf. You guys have been awesome. Stay awesome, keep smiling, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.
Yo, yo.